Hi, today we are going to reveal what is in jar number 5 of our peachy items. This one is peach corn summer salsa from the Ball Canning book. We modified the recipe very slightly, and so ours is not very spicy. You could use spicier peppers or more peppers if you want it to be a little hotter, but it's very delicious. It has a nice sweet flavor, sweeter of course than a regular tomato salsa, but very delicious and a nice change. So if you have a few peaches and you like salsa, this might be the recipe for you. Enjoy. Hi, I'm Heather, and today at Spirits Freedom we are going to make a summer peach corn salsa. So along with what to do with a big box of peaches from the peach truck, we have a recipe here for making a summer peach and corn salsa. Sweet and spicy and a little smoky. The recipe is from the Ball Canning book, and I believe it's also available on their website, Fresh Preserving. But I will link both the book and the website in the description. But it's a pretty simple recipe. We have 3.5 cups of finely chopped peaches into our pot. I used 6 peaches, which gave me just a little bit over 3.5 cups. Then we have 3.5 cups of fresh corn. This came from our little local farmer's market. I used 6 ears of corn, which gave me just under 3.5 cups. So combined, it's good. It didn't make a big difference on the acidity level of the recipe, so that little difference won't make a difference worth mentioning for canning. Alright, we've got 1 cup of chopped red bell pepper, and I've got 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. The recipe called for malt vinegar, but I'm avoiding the grains and wheat and such, so I'm using apple cider vinegar instead of malt vinegar. And we also have 1/4 cup of freshly squeezed lime juice, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and then the recipe called for some chipotle peppers in adobo sauce, and I don't have that, so I'm using what I have available. I'm using 1 small green jalapeno pepper for the heat. It's finely diced, about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and 1/4. So we're going to add that in, and along with that, because of the adobo sauce, we are going to put in I've got 1/2 tablespoon of chili powder and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon to help cover the flavors from the adobo sauce. We've also got here 2 teaspoons of salt, a teaspoon of fresh thyme, 2 garlic cloves crushed, and I think that covers it. We'll put all of that into this. We are going to put this on the stove, bring it to a boil, reduce it, and cook for 5 minutes before we put it into hot jars. Okay, we're filling these jars to about 1/2 inch of headspace. That one's too full. I don't use one of those little measuring things. I just know that the threads on these jars are about 3/4 of an inch, so I just sort of estimate what that is gonna be. It's gonna be close enough. Wipe the rims just to make sure that the lids will seal well. Now these jars are hot. They were not sterilized. The current canning guidelines say that if you're going to process your jars in a water bath canner for at least 10 minutes, that you do not need to sterilize your jars. So these are going to be processed for 15 minutes, I believe. So you don't need to do that, and you don't want to boil your lids either. So you don't want to soften the wax too much, just enough so that it will stick to the jar well. And we will put the rings on finger tight, which is when the jar starts moving on its own, that's finger tight. It's not very tight at all. See? There we go. All right. And as I said, these will go into a boiling water bath for 15 minutes.
Please visit the blog post linked in the video description below for more information about this video and the supplies used.